You know that it's fun to go out, except I never leave my house. I'm either at work or home, and it seems kind of pathetic just drinking alone. So if you got nothing going on, have some drinks with Ron.
Hello and welcome to Drinks with Ron. I'm Ron, and this is my drink. It is a Capital Brewery from Madison, a seasonal beer. It is a Maibach, which means, of course, you can't have any because it's not your Bach. It's my Bach. That's right, I went there. But I was sitting here thinking about we just finished up a season playing softball, which was something I had vowed I'd never do again, but whole long story. They needed people, so I played, and yeah, it was fun. We just weren't a very good team, which, as I say, lends itself to my track record and why I didn't want to play softball anymore. The last time I played was probably 8 or 9 years ago up in La Crosse, and I played with the food co-op up there because they needed somebody, so I played. And I didn't even work there or anything. I didn't even really know anybody who worked there. I knew like one person. They needed somebody, sure, I'll play, because they didn't even have enough people working there to fill out a team. So there was a couple people that were pretty good, hardcore, knew what they were doing, and a whole lot of hippies, holding bats upside down and not sure where to put their gloves. And yeah, it's an interesting year. I said not a very good team. The highlight of the year for me was one game as we're getting just pounded. We managed to score some runs late, and I, coming around third, got the whole train going with all the weight forward, a little too far, and just biffed it and slid about 3 feet towards home, and got up and ran, made it, and scored. But everybody on my team, they said nobody knew me. I didn't know any of them. So everybody was too scared to laugh at me. So here's this totally hilarious moment where this douchebag just eats gravel, but none of them know me well enough to laugh because they're just not sure how this guy's going to react. And so, yeah, totally awkward silence as I come back. I'm the only one laughing, covered in dirt. And like, but I don't think we won a game. So between that team and this one this last summer, I believe 0 wins. But the time before that I played softball was the first time I ever played softball. It was probably about 12 years ago, also up in La Crosse, with, you thought the co-op was good. Wait for it. Wait for it. I played on the Alcoholics Anonymous softball team. We won't get into the whole story of how Ron comes to join the Alcoholics Anonymous softball team. That'd be an episode of its own. But let's just say they needed somebody, so I played. And oh man, any vision that came into your head when I said Alcoholics Anonymous softball team, any vision you had, it was correct. It was the saddest bunch of softball players I've ever seen. Guys that had done too much of a lot of things. A lot of blank stares, slow moves, joints that are wore out from taking headers down bar steps, and guys that still kind of pop from that one accident. I don't want to make light of it, but that's true. I'll put it this way. Any given week I showed up at the park, I was easily the second best player on the entire team. Any week. There was always one guy that was better than me every week. They didn't show up every week, but yeah, I was easily second best player every week. Even in much better shape than I am now, that's still not good. It was just a train wreck. I'll put it this way. we, we never got schedules. First week we're having a practice, and it's looking ragged. That's the worst part. Is you go in knowing we're gonna get fucked this year. They're gonna just fuck us. Where this is gonna suck. Guys that just stand there as balls sail by them and watch the trails. I mean, it wasn't only Alcoholics Anonymous. This was also, well, pretty much the same group as the Narcotics Anonymous. So it was a tight pack, They kind of ran together, and oh, yeah, it was rough. So that team, it's safe to say, didn't win any games either. So between those three, every softball team I've ever been on has yet to get a win. And the sad part is that's not even an indictment of my play. So, but we never got schedules. We're having practices in the beginning, and one guy's in charge, and he's pretty good. I like this guy. And we'll get your schedules. I just got to get one, and I'll make copies. And this other guy, I think his name is Gary. I don't remember. Gary just fucking, no, I'll do it. I'll take I have the copy. I'll take it. I'll get copies. I'll get them out to everybody. And it's this whole Alcoholics Anonymous, and they're doing a thing, and it's together, and it's we're not drinking, so it's a positive thing that we're getting together, making friends outside of leaving our old habits, making new ones, and I'm taking responsibility, and I'm gonna get you the schedules. Like week 1, literally, Gary's got them in him and Steve, I think the other guy's name, are the physical copy of the schedule is between them, and there was like this back and forth. There's like this linchpin moment in the history of this team, and Gary finally, no, I'll do it, and Steve's like, all right, I'll trust you to do it. So week 4 rolls around, and we still don't have schedules, and you never knew because there were different fields. You didn't play the same place every week, obviously not the same time. So any given week, you could be in you show up for the field and, there's nobody here. Or, yeah, game's just ending because it was an hour ago. And every week, Gary, if you give me that, I can I got it. I will make copies. I'll do it. So Gary'd take the schedule back to his station wagon that was full of a lot of crap. And frankly, I think Gary might have been living in the station wagon. But that's besides the point. I mean, one week I missed a game, and the dude, like I said, I think Steve, that's not really his name at all, but he's like 5'2" with a mullet and a little mustache, and his nose is all from, I'm assuming, a bar fight. Comes up and gets all in my grill because, like I say, I was one of the better players on the team, so you need me. But not only that, hey, where were you last week? You didn't show up. We didn't have enough players. We had to forfeit. What can I say? Gary hasn't given me a schedule. I was like, oh, well, okay, So, yeah, it's... How can I paint you a picture of this team better than I have? Say, a lot of guys struggling with a lot of stuff. Like, serious stuff, They're in a really bad place in a lot of their lives trying to make it better, and, now you threw a softball league in their lap, And so, and those are the good ones. One guy, we'll call him Scott. Man, I don't know. He's the quintessential, you look in the eyes and the wheels aren't turning. And good guy, nice guy. But as far as reaction time and motor skills, not the guy you want at shortstop. So we're having practices in the beginning, and sailing over his head. You just know it's going to be horrible right from the start. And Scotty, man. And so what do? You got a guy that's a liability. You just stick him behind the plate. And he's a good guy. You want to get him there, camaraderie and recovery and the whole thing. But he's just as rigid and wooden as you could possibly be, and I said, no reaction time. So it's one time we're playing a team, and I'm on first base. Guy hits one in the outfield. Ball comes into me. It's going to be a relay to home. This little dude hits it. Well, I turn around to fire it home as the guy's making for the plate. And I cock and come around the other side and look to home. And here's Scotty with this look of absolute terror, backing away from me with his eyes all huge, anticipating the hell that could happen to him if I throw the ball. So in mid-throw, I like pull up and try to stop so I don't accidentally kill Scott by hitting him in the face with a softball, and he's got no reaction time to get out of the way as it pummels him right in the face, breaks his nose, shoves it up into his brain, kills him as we all stand by and watch. No, couldn't do that. So I pull up, and the ball comes flying out and just about hits the guy on first base, who proceeds to come stomping off of first base and get right in my face. Hey, what are you doing? You're trying to hit me with the ball. And how do you explain to this guy without totally throwing Scott under the bus and saying, look, Scott's done too much of a lot of things, and frankly, if I'd have thrown it hard, we'd all be tending to him right now. Game over. So you can't do that. So I just say, look, if I meant to hit you, I would have hit you. And that kind of stopped it there. So, yeah, it was an interesting season. I say we're never getting a schedule. And our team being just this bunch of, man, it was interesting. And that's not even the worst thing. What's the worst thing? Oh my God. Wait for it. Wait for it. I showed up to a game for the Alcoholics Anonymous team drunk. Not had a beer while we were grilling, but I had a lot of beers. I had a 12er and there weren't too many left in there. So I show up at the game because, what can I say? I can't miss the game because dude's already getting in my face about it. So I have to show up because he makes sure I knew when the game was. So I show up and there's nothing you can do. I mean, you were talking about disguising. Oh, nobody knew I was drunk. The absolute last group of people in the universe you're going to be able to pretend you're not drunk to is the Alcoholics Anonymous group. You got a trick that you know to cover it up? They've tried it. No matter what you do, there is somebody amongst those 12 guys and girls sitting on the bench that knows your trick. That guy smells heavy like perfume. I bet he was drinking and then sprayed it all over himself to cover it up. That's what I used to do when I was drinking at places I shouldn't have been drinking at. Doesn't matter what your trick is, somebody there knew your trick. So there's really nothing you can do. You just, it's kind of like a courtesy. I'm not going to, throw it in your face that I'm drinking, but I'm drinking. Tell me to leave if you want. I don't care. So, yes, I showed up to a game for the Alcoholics Anonymous softball team drunk and played the entire game carrying 2 tons of irony on my back. What can I say? They needed somebody, so I played.